Eurovision fam, it's Alesia Michelle, and I'm here in Switzerland. I've got something really, really exciting for you. So, yeah, it's going to be an interview with someone. Well, you probably already know that because you clicked on the video. Let's get into it. Hey Eurovision fam, it's Alesia Michelle, and you kind of had a little bit of a rebrand.
Yes.
Okay, so you want to reintroduce yourself to the people?
Well, I'm Mélanie René for the Eurovision fans, but I rebranded as Mélise. Mélise, yes.
Okay, I'm liking the vibe. So you've had like some songs come out like post Eurovision.
Yes.
Tell us, like, how do you kind of feel? Like, what is your genre? How would you describe your sound?
I'd say it's mainly it falls under the pop umbrella, with a little bit of electro vibe into it because I love electro music. But I'm still, I mean, it's been years now, but I'm still trying to like find my own style. Like, I feel like the first EP that I put out was a bit. I wouldn't say soulless because obviously I wrote the songs and it's part of my story and part of things that I wanted to share with people. But in terms of the music, there was something missing. And so I'm currently working on something very personal. I'd say it would fall under the pop electro genre, but with bits of my own cultural background.
I'm curious. I want to get into the music because, I mean, that's one of the wonderful things about Eurovision is I think that we just have a fandom that's sort of hungry for songs and like hungry for any like music. I have to ask, what are you kind of listening to now? What song maybe is stuck in your head right now?
There's so much. So many songs, so many artists. I also on the side work for a radio, so I get to hear a lot of different artists, different sort of artists that comes from different background. I have to say, I really love Remo's song. So I am waiting for the album to drop.
Well, I think it's interesting because Switzerland has sort of now been on this really nice sort of like tear at Eurovision. What's something you want to see maybe from Switzerland coming soon that maybe we haven't seen recently?
I mean, more of the same of what is going on at the moment, but maybe go a little bit out of that comfort zone, like take a bit more risks.
I love a risky entry. Y'all already know that if I'm biased towards anything at Eurovision, it's going to be a risk. But also, y'all know, I always like to talk about the styling. And I have to say, I loved your styling at Eurovision.
Thank you.
I really, really loved your dress. So when you were putting that together and thinking about how you wanted to look on the stage, what was that process like? Did you have a dress custom made for you? Did you find it off the rack? I need to know.
No, it was custom made. I was lucky enough to meet the designer who did the dress. He's from Belgium. His name is Frédéric Lucalandi. And we wanted something that would match the lyrics and the story of the song. So I kind of explained to him what I wanted to say through the song, like the message.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, I got it. So he started drawing, and then a couple of months later, he just showed me the dress, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Unfortunately, I didn't get to keep the dress, but
Okay, we got to find the dress. We got to bring the gown back because it is cute. But one thing that I want to get at, and I'm kind of revisiting a lot of some of my favorite Eurovision artists from years past, is because even if we look from 2015 to now, the contest has evolved so much. We've got the global vote happening. We didn't have juries in the semifinal. What do you think of kind of the evolution of Eurovision, even just in this sort of short period of time?
I think it's a good thing because it includes more people. It gets more people interested in the contest, which is a good thing, and I really dig that. I think it's regarding like the voting system and the jury and all that. I think it's a question of like trial and error. See what works, what doesn't. I mean, I don't really have an opinion on the voting system because I don't know. I don't really know if it works, if it doesn't. Like we need more years to be able to assess if it worked like that. But in general, like the contest, the way that it evolved from when I did it to now is just amazing. Like if you look at the staging, the light shows, everything is just amazing. It's well, I tend to say it's becoming more and more like the American shows, like big and wow. It's got that wow factor.
No, I do feel like the show is evolving and it is becoming bigger, and I like the fact that there is like more of a global focus on the contest. So I gotta ask, looking at like if you were to perform at Eurovision now, but like with your song, how would you have maybe changed the staging or upgraded it? Because I mean, we've just got more tools and features. So what would you have maybe tweaked about your on-stage performance if you were performing now with all of the tech and stuff that the EBU has to offer artists?
I want to say I would have changed a lot, but at the same time, I don't know what I would have changed. I think to begin with, I would have changed the song a little, like the instrumentation.
Okay.
The song that I performed was not finished according to my own standards. Like we didn't have time to make it the way I first envisioned it. So that would change a little. And so I think the staging would be a bit different. Like we'd have more pyrotechnique.
Okay.
Is that the
Pyro.
word?
Yeah, fire.
Yeah.
Fire.
Fire, yeah, definitely. And I think I would have put my backing singers / dancers a bit more at the forefront than what they were.
I also kind of want to ask about, like, if we're talking about the scale and sort of exposure for artists at Eurovision. I mean, Måneskin is now like a worldwide sensation.
Yeah.
Last year at Eurovision, Armenia's Rosalind ended up having this viral hit, like thanks
On
to
TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah.
And now she's like touring the States, opening for like Ed Sheeran. I mean, what do you kind of think of the fact that now it does seem like, you know, Eurovision, because I think Eurovision at one point was sort of reflecting what was in the charts and everything, and then some people were like there was a little bit of like a lull, but definitely it seems like a great platform for emerging artists and whatnot. Yeah, what do you think?
No, I totally agree. I think it's an amazing platform, and because of the way that the music industry is evolving, with social media and all the tools that are made available for independent artists and emerging artists, I think Eurovision is like one of the best platform to sort of get your music out there, get your name out there, and and then if you have a good I don't want to say social media strategy, but like if you know how to work things and and if you post a lot of content, I think that's the way to go, because there's so many different countries that are focusing on those nights and on those artists. So I think this is the way to go if you want to have like a international career.
The EBU now has this exclusive deal sort of with TikTok for the rehearsals, so we don't see. So when you were performing at Eurovision, that first rehearsal, like the rehearsals were open, like press were able to like look in and what. Now it's all kind of closed, and it's just being released on TikTok. And there was sort of like a little bit of an uproar, maybe an uproar in the fan community about that. But you as an artist, are you kind of team keep the rehearsals enclosed, or are you kind of like, well, we're already performing? I don't know. Yeah, what's your thought on
No, I think the rehearsals should be closed to the public and media, because it is a rehearsal, so you need to be able to make little mistakes and then obviously little readjustments without people judging this and then relating it to their social media, because obviously this is how people get influenced by the social media. So I think if we keep the rehearsals the way they did, closed and private, I think it's even better for the actual night, the actual show, because there is a real surprise and there is that wow factor of discovering the staging and the styling and all that.
So, I mean, I'm not expecting you to have watched Eurovision religiously since your participation or anything, but what are some recent performances that maybe have stood out to you in recent years at Eurovision? Nature. Some recent performances for you that have like stood out that you're like, oh man, like I want to be like her, or like that act was really dope.
There was so many, to be fair. I remember, I think it was last year or the year before that, there was an act from, I think it was Ukraine, that was kind of like traditional / electro. Yes. I think it was Ukraine.
Yes, 2021.
Yeah,
yes.
And she had those sort of like green feathers.
Yes.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
That was amazing. I mean, it was so. It stood out. We didn't expect anything like that. I mean, I wouldn't have expected something like that at the Eurovision contest. And when she performed, because I don't follow like the rehearsals and all that, I just watched the semifinals and final, and when I first saw her performance, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I want her to win. So there was her, there was obviously Måneskin. I loved their performance, and obviously when they won, I was like, well,
yeah,
you know. But I have to admit that that year, I really, really hoped that Switzerland would win.
Ah, yeah,
because
the song was good. Yes,
John Steers was just.
The vocal was perfect. The staging was amazing. Sasha put her foot in that staging package. I actually, John Steers had one of my favorite songs in 2020 as well.
Yes.
And I did like the song in 2021. So that was sort of still in my like top 3 that year. But I will say my most played song was Ukraine 2021.
Yeah.
Go Away. That in the car, it's just perfect car driving music.
Definitely. Recently, Remo. I mean, I was very disappointed him being 20th, I think.
Oh, yeah, it was, I think so.
He was in my top 5, and I was like, come on, people. That was good. Like, the vocals, the performance, the song. I mean, yeah.
I always say that Eurovision comes down to the mood that Europe is in. It's like, is Europe looking for a party? Do they want something meditative? And that's what I sort of, frame things around. Well, I gotta kind of bring us to a close. I mean, you're still in the studio, you're still making music. Would you ever consider, maybe writing a song, maybe not performing yourself, but writing a song for an artist, and maybe not just a Swiss artist, maybe someone else from another country?
I would love to. I mean, I've started doing that a little bit, not just for Swiss artists, but like all around the world. And I've been writing for producers and DJs. So I would love to be able to write for artists, and why not Eurovision artists?
I love it. Well, thank you so much for talking with me. Make sure you follow her on social media. I'll have all those details in the description below, and you probably already saw it come up, in the lower third here. And everyone needs to check out the music.
Yes, as soon as I'm putting out music, I'm gonna send you all the links.